Hi, everybody. In Bangladesh, a mob of angry Muslims attacked Buddhists, drove them out of their houses, 40 homes burned, 10 Buddhist temples burned to the ground. It's a tragic event. Muslims doing this to Buddhists. But now let's take a little deeper look at this story so we really understand what's happening, because again, this is reminding me of some things that have played out in the Muslim world in some other areas. And it looks to me like mob mentality and a mob being ruled by, a mob being played like a puppet by someone who has an ugly agenda. Apparently, a Buddhist young man was accused of having a photo of a burned Muslim holy book on his Facebook page, and that's what triggered this. Turns out that wasn't even true. That wasn't real justification. In the real world, that's not justification for burning down an entire village or 10. It's not justification for an angry mob lighting sacred religious structures on fire. It's not justification, but isn't it even worse that the boy who supposedly had a photograph of a burnt Muslim holy book didn't really even have that? Turns out someone tagged his Facebook page with this photo. So this boy is completely innocent. And again, you don't attack an entire village because of what one boy did, but the boy did nothing. So an innocent boy, and then we end up having this attack. And it's kind of funny how that happens. We've had lots of riots and attacks that are triggered by phony events. I guess we call them a false flag. Here's the difference between Bangladesh and some of these other places. The Bangladeshi government has arrested people. They have helped the Buddhists get back into their homes. They say they're going to reimburse the Buddhist families for their losses and help rebuild the structures. They're going after the leader. I guess there's a ringleader who's whipped up these people into a frenzy to go after an attack. But here's the most important part of the news story for me. When the angry Muslims burst in, lighting fires, chasing people out of their homes and lighting temples on fire, a lot of the Buddhist families, who are minority, I think there's only 330,000 of them in Bangladesh, a lot of these families who were running went and ran and hid in the homes of Muslims. Muslims who knew the riots were wrong. Muslims who had built relationships with their neighbors of trust. Muslim-Buddhist relationships of love and trust, where they knew when things got ugly, when people came after them, even though they were Muslims, they were safe in the arms of their Muslim neighbors. And the following day, groups of Muslims come out with food to help. So it's the moderate Muslim that will save this entire mess that's happening right now. It's the majority. It's the majority Muslims. So if you're part of the majority of peaceful Muslims, the overwhelming majority, I think there's an obligation in these situations to act. Because when these news stories come out, you want to hear the other half of the story, like when that reporter was attacked in Cairo, that some Muslim guys were attacking this reporter, but it was a big group of Muslim women and Muslim soldiers who came to her rescue. So whenever you hear a story like this, you have to remember that this whole event in Bangladesh might have been triggered by one guy, one troublemaker with a small little clan of friends who was able to get an uneducated, vulnerable, impressionable village of Muslims whooped up for a non-event to go on an attack. Really sad that these Muslim villagers in Bangladesh are being played like puppets and fools, and that they're so angry and their lives are in such a desperate shape that they're willing to go on a burning, destroying rampage in the name of honor. Let me know what you think.